Good morning. This is Pierre. I want to welcome you guys to another edition of LifeKnocks. This is LifeKnocks, I think, number 23. And I got a couple updates for you. So first of all, the light over here is turning on slowly. So when it gets a little bit brighter, you'll be able to see me a little bit better because the sun is beaming in through the windows because it is summertime, or at least it feels like that, and the weather is extremely hot. And so, whoa, just coming out of nowhere. And I wouldn't be surprised if it just starts snowing next week. That's the weather here in DC. Okay, so here's some updates. 562, you can order your copy right now. So if you go to our website, 562film.com, or the Blue Artist Live webpage, or blue-artist.com, you can click to, or on Facebook or Twitter, whatever, you can click on the 562 link, and it'll take you to an Indiegogo page, where on this Indiegogo page, I talked about this I think on the last show a little bit, but on the Indiegogo page you can actually support our film festival run just by ordering a copy of the film. Okay, so you can get the film, you can get the soundtrack, you can get posters for the film. There's two separate, incredibly well-designed posters, and we're not just going to send you JPEGs. These are fully, full-size framed, beautiful well, actually, they won't be framed, but they will be full-size posters, and we're going to send them to you in the mail via FedEx. So it's a fantastic deal for those who get the limited edition copy of 562, even at this early stage. And again, it's limited because this is to help us go to festivals. So it's not. This is straight from us. This is not coming from a distribution company or anything like that. And if you get the limited edition copy of the film, you will also get a signed, autographed actual DVD and autographed CD of the soundtrack. So it's an incredible deal. Why don't you just go check it out, watch the trailer, and just support. You know, the way that we word is, it's a give and take. It's a give and take. So if you give a little, we are going to give you a lot back. So thank you just so much for your support. Those of you who are involved with the 562 production, or have seen the trailer, or even attended the screening a few months ago, now is your opportunity to really help us to get this thing where it needs to be. So another update for you is that Christian's Challenge, we've just released this really cool behind the scenes video from the filming of that show. And if it's not on YouTube right now, it will be probably today or tomorrow. Just stay tuned to our YouTube channel or Facebook or Twitter, and you'll see when it goes live. But you got to check that out because it's really, really funny. And it was edited by newcomer Deontay Jenkins. Now, Deontay is still in film school, but he's been interning with us here at Blue Artist for a while. And you'll actually get to speak with him very soon, or not speak with him, but you'll get to hear a conversation with him very soon because they're going to have him on a Blue Artist livecast this month. And what we're going to be talking about is what it's like to go to film school in 2013. You know, film is a very different thing today than it was, 7 years ago, 10 years ago. It's very different. I mean, nowadays everyone's a filmmaker because of the iPhone. If you think about the iPhone, I think it came out in 2004. So, since that came out, film video has really been sort of revolutionized. So what's it like to go to film school in a day and age where everyone's a filmmaker at any time? So that's something that we're going to talk about. I'm really excited about that. If you don't know, our good friend Anthony Hackett is developing a film, and it's called Just a Prayer Away, and we're sort of acting as a consulting producer on that film. And there's a fantastic trailer that he's just released, and a wonderful website, justaprayerawayfilm.com. And we're going to be having Anthony on an episode of LifeCast very, very soon to sort of talk more about this film and what's driving him, and what are his challenges, and just what's it like. He's a first-time film director, but he's got a ton of stage experience. So what's it like to sort of take that transition from the stage to film? So very, very, very interesting stuff coming up. So what I want to talk to you about today is this really neat Jim Rohn quote that I have on my phone, and here is a picture of it, and I'm just going to read it to you, and then I want to talk to you a little bit about it. Let others lead small lives, but not you. Let others argue over small things, but not you. Let others cry over small hurts, but not you. Let others leave their future in someone else's hands, but not you. Very, very profound, don't you think? What's he basically saying? As I read that, I get from it that, we have a duty, we have a responsibility to ourselves to live the kind of life that we envision for ourselves. We have that responsibility to ourselves to put in the work to lead a big life, to be what it is that we want to be. And he's saying, let other people live small lives. Let other people worry about small things. Let other people be small-minded, but not you. You focus on what it is that you know you really have to offer. Recently, in dealing with Clino, I sometimes share stories about clients. I don't tell you who the clients are, but just sort of adventures in entrepreneurship. And at what point do you is it ever okay to sort of tell a client that we're not a good fit. We're not a good fit. You appreciate what that client stands for. You appreciate what it is they want to do, but they're just not a good fit for you. How do you handle something like that? If you put a proposal in a client's hands, right, and then they respond in a particular way in a couple days or a couple days later, and their tone of the conversation changes, and it's not that sort of attractive relationship that it first started out as. It sort of becomes this antagonistic or even sort of power-driven thing, and you haven't actually signed the contract yet, so they still have the proposal and they're reviewing it, and they're kind of holding it over your head and saying, well, if you don't do this, we're not going to accept your proposal, or if you don't knock it down this much, we're not going to accept your proposal, or if you don't do this or something else, then we'll consider. And they sort of just hold it over your head as leverage for other services. Is it ever okay to say, you know what, I'm not interested any longer in providing this service for you. We're not a good fit, and I don't really want to be accountable for you, quite frankly. Is that ever okay? And I think if we look at this Jim Rohn quote, and I'll just sort of review it again one more time for you, I think you'll find the answer is yes. So here's the quote. Let others lead small lives, but not you. Let others argue over small things, but not you. Let others cry over small hurts, but not you. Let others leave their future in someone else's hands, but not you. But not you. If it's not going to be a good fit, and they're already arguing or discussing the small things, and they're not thinking about the big picture, and they don't see your value, they really don't understand your value, and you see that this thing is sort of an uphill battle, maybe because it's your responsibility to lead the life that you want to lead and to think big. Maybe you should say, no, this is not going to be a good fit, and we can't do it. So basically, when you consult with a client that first time, it's usually if it goes well and you feel compelled enough to put together a proposal, I mean, you're thinking things are going right, but when you give that proposal and things begin to change, you have the opportunity and you have the responsibility to you and your organization and to your own integrity to pull out if necessary and to say, you know what, this is not going the way that I thought it was, and we are not in a deal yet, and I don't think I want I don't think I want to be accountable for your mindset. And I guess that's the bottom line, is mindset. It's really important to make sure that when you're working with a client, when you're providing a service for a client, that they have the correct mindset to understand and recognize your value. Because if they don't, then guess what? It's always going to be an uphill battle, and you're never going to be, they're always going to be fighting with you to sort of knock you down and bring you down to where it is they perceive you to be. And if that's not where you really are, then maybe it's not a good fit, and you got to get out of that, or it's unhealthy, and ultimately it affects the quality of your work. And someone, I was listening to a podcast, and one of the people on the podcast said, if you're in a relationship right now, right, with a bad partner, okay, so if you're providing a service for a client and it's not a very good client, and it's sort of bringing you down, and then while you're in that relationship, Mr. Right or Mrs. Right walks across the street and you make eye contact, or that perfect client walks across the street and you make eye contact, but they see you with this other client or in this other relationship, and they say, you know what, that person's already taken, I'm not even gonna bother. So what's happening now is you've just lost an incredible opportunity because you're stuck in a relationship that you don't even like. So you gotta think about that. Really gotta think about that. You know, through God, you are the craftsman of your own life. What you want out of it is what you put into it. What you get out of it is what you allow to go into it. So you know, it's very important, very, very important that you let other people think small, not you. If you like what you see and you want to be a part of our ongoing conversation, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, please visit our daily blog at www.blue-artists.com.